Peace, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of Uncanny Talks. As always, I am ICC, and on my right, we have Kratos. And on my left, we have Egg. So in today's episode, we're talking about hidden gems. Everybody has their own hidden gems. It's nothing that's a fact, as far as which ones are good and which ones are bad. But everybody has their own unique opinion, and today, we're going to give you some of ours. So we're going to go with you first, Kratos. What is a hidden gem to you?
A hidden gem to me is something that is not well known, didn't really sell well, and is just a great game.
Got to keep the team small. If the team gets too big or there's too much money put inside of it or into the game, it's probably not going to be a hidden gem like your Call of Duties, your Modern Warfares, your Street Fighters. They just don't qualify. But your smaller developers, maybe some of your indie titles, maybe some of these older games that we grew up with and forgot about, or just the good games that just nobody ever played.
I will agree. Most big companies will have a pretty big budget behind their advertising.
Yeah.
And so most of the time those games, it's kind of hard to sleep on a game that is all over the place.
The only thing I'll disagree with is the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast had a huge advertising campaign behind it, but that entire system is a hidden gem.
Yeah, I mean, you can advertise. I mean, that's a part of it. It's not the whole thing.
That's such a small nit. That's such a small.
Well, no, I would say it's more than just a small part.
I agree with you though. You're 100% right, because the more money you put into a game and how much you advertise, obviously the more money
more magazines, more commercials.
I mean, how do you make lots of money? You spend lots of money. So
especially marketing, promotions, just all that combined.
That's not even taking up how much production costs or or anything.
NTSC hidden gems,
our favorites.
That works. So speaking of your favorites, let's start with an early era hidden gem. Keep it to like 8-bit, maybe 16-bit, like an early era hidden gem.
It's one of your favorite games. I know that.
Which one are you talking about?
I'm thinking of Battle of Olympus. That's why I'm bringing it up. Because we were talking about that earlier, and it's just that fits this perfectly. And I'm sorry to just throw that out there, but
who developed Battle of Olympus? I guess that's your game.
I think it's
the company?
Boardbun Software or something like that. Boardbun.
So
it's
not Capcom, not Konami. It's not going to be one of the high dollar.
If I remember correctly, that game was a lot like a Legend of Zelda 2 clone, but not. It wasn't a clone though. It had its own unique personality.
It was a clone.
Was it Rainbow 2?
It had its own elements of gameplay mechanics and things like that, but at its core, I mean, the last boss you fought a shadow of yourself.
Oh God, really?
Oh man,
it was still a good game though.
It's still a great game, good music. It's got the password system that sucks.
Oh God, I remember that.
But if you can get past that, it's good.
Okay.
Whereas Zelda 2, you had to save, so.
Yeah, battery backup, always great.
I don't know if this one will count, but I'll throw it out there. How about River City Ransom? What do you guys think?
River City Ransom was great, but hidden gem?
Is that a hidden gem?
I know,
I
right?
disagree. That's not a hidden gem.
It's pretty well known, right?
It's pretty well known.
It's an unearthed gem.
It's not top 10, but it is Kunio. I mean, I would say, the Kunio series is more famous in Japan, more popular in Japan.
Agreed.
In the States, we have a bunch of Kunio games, but the public doesn't know they're connected.
Yeah, right.
Like
they all just look
Super Dodgeball and River City Ransom.
All we ever do is
one of his favorites, Crash and the Boys. All kind of look the same.
That River City Ransom is the only name that's pretty much known over here. They're milking off of that name. So every game there's River City Ransom All-Star Sports Challenge,
which is Kunio-kun's All-Star.
There was like a River City Underground or something.
Yeah. River City Ransom Underground.
Replace River City Ransom with Kunio-kun, and there you go. Rinse, repeat. I mean,
but all those games are connected under the Kunio-kun.
It's all Kunio-kun.
But in the States, they're not necessarily labeled like that. So
correct.
I think there was one of these. Oh, yeah. What about this one?
Oh yes, of course.
Guardian Legend.
Broderbund.
These guys.
Yeah, it's like Broder.
This game was like, I don't know how
it?
to explain this game because it was like Xanac, but
It's-
not Xanac.
A shooter. It's a
now.
adventure game. It's.
It really had it all.
Yeah.
I think somebody don't like that particular hidden gem.
I'm not really too fond of Guardian Legend on the NES. Not my most particular favorite game on the console. Moving on.
Okay.
Should we move to the next gen?
Well, I'm thinking staying in that gem, but just upping the ante a little bit. How about Black Tiger? You guys play
Black
that game?
Tiger?
Yeah, in the arcade. You guys ever play that? It's around that
I
same
have.
era. It's a pretty damn good game.
So you're talking about the arcade game then, or what?
Yeah, the arcade
It's,
game. Same era, just...
Very
Yeah.
sought after game for TurboGrafx.
Is it?
Yeah.
I had no
It's
idea.
one of them expensive ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, gaming.
That's in the next
Kinda
era
blew
right
up.
I
there.
mean, it's not super top of the line expensive.
No, but I didn't know.
it's-
I didn't know that game got super popular.
Yeah. Well,
So-
it's not saying super popular. It's just
More popular.
it's you know, collectors have the little Samsons and the
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's
Is it
that
rare?
It's rare.
Is- yeah,
It's rare.
it's
It's
rare.
not super rare. It's not ultra rare. It's not extremely
Right.
rare. It's just rare.
It's collector rare. Just rare enough to be sought after.
See rare.
A lot like maybe Dragon Force for the Sega Saturn.
That's a good
But
one.
that's just for like I'm going back here, but that's just like you have people going after Black Tiger. Only they're TurboGrafx collectors, you know, because they want that. If they're people who have not heard of Black
Yeah.
Tiger or anywhere else, unless you're specifically looking for that system for that game.
Go play it. Yeah, go play it in the arcade collections, series from Capcom.
But,
that's the way to play it.
Yes, Dragon Force is a hidden gem.
Oh yeah, Dragon Force. Yeah, just
Dragon Force
speaking
is a
of
great
which,
game. Some people only pick up those games because they see the price is expensive,
Right.
and so they want to get in on that.
That's not why Dragon Force is.
Yeah,
good at all.
that's not why Dragon Force is not one of those games that is expensive because it's rare. It's expensive because it's good
and rare.
and a little bit rare.
Yeah.
DreamWorks has a lot of rare games. You know,
Yeah.
like most games they made on the Sega Dreamcast or the Sega Saturn, excuse me, were pretty good and not so popular. A little bit rare. They have. What else did they do? Working designs. They did some pretty good ones on the Saturn.
They did Magic Knight Ray Earth.
Ray Earth was pretty good.
They did man, there was this one, I can't remember. What was it called?
There was, I remember
There was an
another
RPG.
really good one. Yeah, there was another really good RPG that they did. I can't remember the name of it. That's why I was asking you to list a couple.
And I'm not talking about Lunar because that's
Lunar's really well known. That's the other problem.
not a hidden gem. But,
Yeah,
It's a good game. Lunar is amazing, but yeah.
not a hidden gem.
um,
Dark Wizard, Sega CD. That's around that same era.
What are your memories with Dark Wizard? I've never played that game.
It's like
tell me about
it's a strategy game. Kind of think of like almost like a Final Fantasy Tactics. Not as deep as Final Fantasy Tactics. Very early model of it, but you can see how it grew to be a Final Fantasy Tactics style game.
I
Yeah,
see.
you've played it before, right?
of course.
What did you think about it?
I thought it was great.
Yeah, especially
It
for the
was.
time.
I thought that Shining Force was better graphically, but other than that, I felt the battles of Dark Wizard was sweet.
Yeah.
Animated. And you see, guy takes a swing. And I'm just like, wow, this is cool.
Who made the
You know?
game?
Who did make it?
That's right there.
Yeah, of course. We're talking about the game in question.
And Dark Wizard, that's a Sega game.
That's pretty impressive.
Not bad, not bad.
Hey, what was that one game that we were playing on the Genesis where the two of us are trying to progress through like all those levels and we could get a partner to help us out?
Oh, Gain Ground?
Gain Ground, yeah. That's one not many
You've heard of Gain Ground.
Of course.
I don't know how much of a hidden gem Gain Ground
I
is.
never played it before until you brought it up.
Have you heard about it before that?
No.
It was at Boardwalk USA, an arcade
Oh,
That's
that's great.
Atlantic
What a
Castle.
great arcade.
like none other. It
Oh
was an
my God.
arcade like none other. You could buy, basically, they would give you a credit card and you would buy hours or you'd buy time. So you could buy a day pass and be there all day.
Yeah, it cost $10.
Yeah, I forgot. I think it was
Day
maybe
pa-
like
the day pass
12.
was
I don't
cheap.
remember. Like
Well,
$8
there
or
were
something.
there were times when it was $5 because they had a special.
Yeah, there was like their slow hours, like Tuesday at
Yeah.
noon. You could definitely
You
go
could
in there
get
and
a
get it
$5
cheaper.
special. You could be
Dude,
there
I
all day.
sat and played Mortal Kombat 2 for like 10 hours straight.
You could beat
with
it.
unlimited credits.
Yeah, you
'cause
could.
just.
Of course, they
Yeah.
ranked up the difficulty on that.
Oh yeah,
That's
but
what
it
I'm
didn't
like-
matter because you had all the credits.
Yeah, so you could actually learn how to beat those games back in the day, man, which not many people got to do.
So, anyways, speaking of Super Nintendo games, we can talk about Koei. Koei has a lot of very underrated hidden gems. I know you've played some Koei games. Me and you have talked before about Uncharted Waters.
Uncharted Waters, New Horizons.
New Horizons was very good as well. Yeah, the sequel. So, yeah, tell us a little bit about New Horizons and your experiences.
New Horizons is one of the first, I want to say, sandbox RPG. Because you pick between, different characters and everyone takes place in the same time period. And it's somewhat based off of historical facts, and it's somewhat accurate on that, but you have, I think it's like 20 to 30 years to complete your objective.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Do you want to, work for the king? Do you want to be a pirate? Do you want to be a merchant?
You can go trading.
Who doesn't want to be a pirate?
Oh man, I
I just gotta throw that out there. Who does not want to be a pirate?
Ninjas.
I'd still take a pirate.
Ninjas don't want to be pirates.
I still
hey,
pick
there's
pirates.
ninja pirates.
But is there a pirate ninja?
They're only they're only myths, gentlemen. They're only myths.
But
Good game though.
But yeah, it's an excellent game, and it's extremely deep. You can get into the political system. You can manipulate each country's economy for your trade. You can go and there's one guy you pick. His whole job is just to make a map of the world. So you got to travel all around the world. Well, that's not as easy as said and done.
What is it, like a cartographer or something?
Yeah.
It's a pretty deep game.
It's
That
pretty
sounds
deep.
Yeah,
pretty
you should
deep.
check it out. Hidden Gem. Most Koei games kind of are.
Gemfire was a hidden gem as well. That game was amazing because we spent 20 hours per session, easy. Just days playing that game.
And most of their games are kind of similar, actually.
Yeah, they have a lot.
Like Gemfire, Nobunaga's Ambition, Inindo, and even Uncharted Waters. They all have similarities.
They all have one or two similarities. Like they all have similar soundtracks, similar sound effects, definitely
the
similar
maps
looks.
and the way the borders and there's a lot of similarities
It's
in between
like
those games.
Romance of the Three Kingdoms and Gemfire share a lot in common, like with the map system, for example. So it's just in the way.
Well, same with Inindo, because Inindo looks exactly like Nobunaga's Ambition, which looks exactly like.
But the cool thing about the Koei games is they all have slight differences too. Like
Yeah.
Gemfire is all about feeding your armor and making sure they're strong enough to fight, and you have all these special units that you have to hire, and you have to hire mercenaries. And it's simple but complicated in the way you have to approach the game. I mean, it's feeding your army is like one of the most important things. If you can do that, then you can win the game easily.
That's kind of like Nobunaga's Ambition. You have to keep your army fed. You gotta, it's kind of that's cool.
Well, damn, which is like Uncharted Waters because you have to keep your crew fed.
Yep.
You have to have plenty of water.
And you know what? Actually, in Nintendo, it's kind of the same thing. When you go to war, you got to have enough food to last the days throughout the war. Because if you run out of food, you have to retreat. You have to lose a war.
This just makes me think of Gauntlet. Red Warrior needs food badly.
Yeah, but you got to keep the supplies. So yeah, good games. I think Koei games are a little bit underrated.
Koei games are
Most
great.
of them hidden gems.
If you see a Koei game and you pop it in, you just you're not quite into it at first, give it a chance. You might be surprised. Really.
So moving on, one of the next consoles or the next generations, and I think there's a lot of hidden gems, is the PlayStation 1.
Oh god, there's so many.
Yeah, there's a lot of games, and so when there's a lot of games, there's going to be a lot of gems.
Yes, there are.
Do you have any gems for us on the PlayStation 1?
We can say Tenchu.
Tenchu,
I know about that game.
Tenchu's a very good game, and I think it has like almost a cult following.
Like, because the first one, it
There's
did
a greatest
it did
hits.
well enough to get a greatest hits.
Yeah.
Following the first one, the second one did well, but not so much.
But the second one was by a different company.
It was. And the
Yeah.
second one got played. Don't get it twisted.
Oh, it got played, but yeah, second one was different.
It
Different
was.
company, so it played different. I think that's a little reason.
Without using Tenchu, there is Evil Zone. which is a fighting game that is basic as hell. There's only 2 buttons. It's almost like a anime grounded Smash Brothers, if you will.
Yeah.
But it's for the time, that shit is fun. The story mode is hilariously bad. Why? It's so bad, but it's so bad it's good. Like,
It's making me think of Fighter Maker. Fighter Maker was such a bad game.
you know what? Fighter Maker is a hidden gem.
You think so?
Yes, it is.
If you know what to do in Fighter
Oh
Maker,
man,
Yeah, I know, you can make
remember
a
we
lot.
made some Guile.
yeah.
Yeah, dude.
And
Oh,
then
God.
if you have a Dex drive, you can download people's PS1 characters, and you'd be surprised what people have done with that.
Well, I
game.
remember a friend of mine actually making a character that would, like, one of his throws is when, like, he'd actually eat the other person them out. It's his throw. It was just like. I also remember the X-Men PlayStation, like the X-Men fighting games that were on the PlayStation, like the second one.
What, Mutant Academy?
Yeah, Mutant Academy 2, where you could actually play as Professor Xavier. I thought that was stupid, but that's not a hidden gem. It's just
No, that is a hidden gem.
really that game looks so bad,
Dude, that game is amazing. It's one of like the better fighting games on the PlayStation 2.
This is what that was on the PlayStation 1.
Can an X-Men Marvel game be a hidden gem?
This one, yes.
I think
Because I guarantee there's
don't
people
know.
like have never heard of this.
It
X-Men
looked like
Mutant
crap
Academy.
to me.
I don't
I'm
even
sorry.
play fighting games, and I know
See,
about X-Men
you
Mutant
can't
Academy.
judge game until you've seen it. That's what makes it a hidden gem.
I
Because
saw
most
it.
people were like egg and saw it and dismissed
It
it.
was like, oh,
They're just like, no.
I laughed my ass off
Damn good
when you
game.
could when you could play as wheels and just
It's-
walk all over people.
Wait,
I thought
what
it
do you
was
mean,
fun.
Professor Xavier? You can't be Professor.
We must be thinking of different games. I don't know. We'll have to go find out.
Now, see, some things I want to say is a hidden gem, but it's not really a hidden gem, but now it is a hidden gem. I know that sounded crazy.
It was. and
Cool
it wasn't,
Borders
it wasn't.
2 is a hidden gem.
I don't know how popular that game was. Cool Borders 2.
Like, all the other Cool Borders, no.
I think that might have been pretty
2
popular.
was like different. It was the only one that was awesome. And then
Cool Borders 2 was awesome.
Yeah, and
that
then-
was a great game.
the other ones just. Oh, I know one. It's called Incredible Crisis. Hidden gem.
Incredible. That sounds familiar.
Yes.
Is that a third person?
It is everything. Imagine it is a game where you control this this Japanese family. You go through the lives of each person. You go through the mom, the dad, the kids, and you go through a whole bunch of I guess mini games. You start off and you're the husband, and you got to go through your day at work. Well, work is hell. You might, have a falling elevator. You have to escape out of a falling elevator. So he's pressing the button. He's like, oh, shit. And after you're pressing the button, you're seeing things fall from the sky. So he's like, oh, you have to like press the buttons.
The puzzle
Yeah,
game.
everyone has like a different day, and it's like WarioWare type of. It's like a whole bunch of mini games.
Oh, okay, that sounds crazy.
It's called Incredible Crisis. It's super fun. Super fun.
Now that we've talked about retro games, let's talk about modern games, modern systems. Modern right now is PlayStation 4, Xbox One,
and newer PC games.
yeah, newer PC games. And I mean, Android, you can, whatever. Just modern in general. So, give me a game, maybe you've been playing lately, or maybe one you've just seen lately, as far as one that you think is a hidden gem now, or could be a hidden gem in the future.
Well, I know there's one game that I played really recently that was really good, and it was a game called Shadowrun Dragonfall. It had a really good story in it. The gameplay mechanics were really good. It drew me in, and it was just a really compelling story. It's also a really dark story, but not over the top. And if you've ever played any of the Shadowrun series, especially the Super Nintendo game, this just falls right in line with it. It is a really good game.
So, is it a sequel?
It's not a sequel. Shadowrun's already a tabletop role playing game. So it takes those rules and adapts them to a new style of game essentially.
I remember the Super Nintendo one.
It was made by a different company, and it's not the same gameplay at all. It's definitely not a sequel because Shadowrun, you can go in any direction with it as long as it's in that world. And this game taught me more about Shadowrun than I've learned ever about Shadowrun. And it broadens your experience of the entire series. It's really cool. I have a few other games that I would say. One game that I watched you guys play quite a bit, I would say, is Friday the 13th. That has been a blast to watch you guys play.
It doesn't have a huge following, it doesn't have like a $10 million budget. So in that aspect,
I'd say
it is kind of a hidden gem.
It's just really early in its life, so we don't know what.
The full game's not even out yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Only the multiplayer's
But
out.
based on what we've got so far and how it's it's building up momentum, it's on its way. I mean,
In my opinion, that's a great game.
it might even not even be a hidden gem. It might just be a really damn good game. Go check it out. It's good.
It's a successful game, great game. And again, see, those are the games that they don't have a huge budget.
Right.
They're not going to put $10 million just into advertising. They don't even have $10 million to make the game.
Yeah, they barely got the word out just in time to get the Kickstarter
so
going. It's not even
that's the basis. That's the foundation of a hidden gem,
right,
basically.
Right.
The Friday the 13th, I think, is on its way to being a hidden gem. That's going to be a great game when people look back at it. I mean, it's already a great game in my opinion.
Amazing. I have to agree. Oh, there's one more. And there's one that we all love. You know what it is?
What?
Double Dragon 4.
Double Dragon 4. See,
that's a hidden gem.
That's why I think new games can be hidden gems, because a game like Double Dragon 4, a game like Friday the 13th, their advertising budget, not everybody knows that these games are even out there.
Right.
And that's what a hidden gem is most people don't know they're out there.
Yeah, and Double Dragon 4, I will say, there have been times when it's just like, I'm beat, I've had a long day, I want to play a game, but I don't want to think too hard. Perfect game.
Great game. I like Double Dragon 4.
Is amazing.
And I know we've played a lot of Double Dragon 4. What did you think about that?
It's fun.
And I know we've also played a lot of Friday the 13th. So, do you have any?
You know what? The key. That's the key. Fun. That's the number one thing.
Yeah, that is the that's the key to a game. Is the first thing you pretty much is, at least in my opinion. I know not everybody agrees. It's probably not a popular opinion to put fun as number one. But, that's definitely up there.
Both games are fun, and they may not sell like the next Call of Duty.
Yeah,
but
not gonna have billions of dollars in sales.
Do we really want the next Call of Duty? We've already got tons of them.
I'm not buying it.
I'm kind of burned out.
I've been burned out on Call of Duty for a few games already, so that's not even a question. I'm not purchasing the new Call of Duty. I will be playing Friday the 13th or anything else but Call of Duty. I'll go back to my Nintendo or to my Sega Saturn if I have to.
So I got a question that I'm sure the audience is going to have for you.
What's that?
What is this?
That's a Nindo. This is another Koei game. When we were talking Koei, this is the ninja game that they have in their series. Because, they got Uncharted Waters is the pirate game. They have, like Romance of the Three Kingdoms is like the Chinese emperors or the Chinese warlords. I don't know exactly. I don't know what you'd want to say. But this one right here, you're in feudal Japan. You're an Egan ninja.
Yes, right.
You're an Egan ninja. And the object of the game is to defeat Nobunaga. Or he wiped out the entire Egan ninja clan, basically, besides like a handful of ninjas, and you want revenge. One of the greatest games I've ever played. This right here is actually the MSX game, but it also is on Super Nintendo.
Okay.
So I'd recommend just playing the Super Nintendo game. It's cheaper. More people have Super Nintendo.
Is this one better than the Super Nintendo version?
The Super Nintendo is a lot better.
Really?
It's really close to the same. As far as some of the dungeons look almost exactly the same. But the Super Nintendo one has backgrounds where the MSX certain scenes, certain areas don't even have backgrounds. Kind of like Final Fantasy 1. You know how sometimes there was a black background?
Right.
But then on like the PSP remake, they actually have backgrounds during the fighting scenes. A little bit of the same thing on Nintendo there.
Gotcha. So it's like NES, SNES sort of thing.
You have to keep your army fed. You got to,
Right.
You have to, because there's many different scenarios in the game. At first, you're just a ninja. You're wandering the country. You can wander the whole country, but you can get hired by the daimyo, so you can partake in their wars. And so you need war abilities, but yet you need battle abilities, because that's two totally different things. Like getting in a fight is totally different than going to war. Two totally different abilities, two totally different spells and everything. The game's really in depth. One of my favorite games I've ever played.
So ultimate, favorite.
That is probably my number one hidden gem of all time.
That's awesome.
That and maybe I don't know how much of it hidden gem Dragon Force is, but that's just one of my favorite games of all time.
That's a great game, I gotta admit.
So I think we could wrap it up here.
I'm good with that, yeah.
So I'll just ask one final question.
Okay.
Your favorite hidden gems of all time.
Oh. Okay, so I'm gonna have to say Out of hell with it. Street Fighter 2010, the final fight.
Street Fighter 2010, the final fight.
Yeah, it's my favorite one. Easily. This game is so underrated, it's not even funny. That's my top hidden gem. It's not my favorite game, but it's my top hidden gem.
I was never really into that game. I know you've always liked that game.
I
and
really
you've,
like that game. Yeah.
like mastered that game. So I mean, yeah, I don't really have an opinion on it because I never really played it.
I'll throw out a second one. Rock and Roll Racing.
Yeah, I've actually played that
I think
one.
I think Rock and Roll Racing is going to edge it out just slightly. Honestly.
I would say Street Fighter 2010. Fewer people know about that game as far as being good,
And even
that
fewer-
might be infamous for being bad
Even
and kind
fewer
of be
people-
known for that. But
It's because most people don't know how to play the game. It's
Yeah,
really hard
yeah.
to play, so it's just the controls are really not normal. They're weird. All right, your turn.
yeah, so Kratos, your top hidden gem of all time. If you were gonna tell somebody, hey man, here's a game I don't think you've played, like I'm pretty sure you've never played. Great game, here you go. What is it?
I'm going to go with Uncharted Waters New Horizons
Koei.
by Koei. Or
Yeah, great game.
I would go with the Super Nintendo version though.
Personally, yeah, I would go Super Nintendo as well. I still own that game actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with that. And other than that, if we're gonna get off the Super Nintendo, then for PS1, Tecmo's Deception 3, and that's a very rare one. It's unknown, but
Tecmo's Deception.
Tecmo's Deception 3.
It's kind of an acquired taste,
It is.
You got to play it, you got to experience, you got to get into it.
Was that the dungeon
Good game once you get into it.
It's a game where
First person?
No, it's third person. I want to say it's almost a puzzle
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
Okay,
I
never
would've said the
played
same
it.
thing.
I never played
But
it.
the whole point is to basically kill everybody with different traps.
I did play that game.
It's
Yeah.
very
Yeah,
creative,
That's a very weird game. Yeah.
but creative,
It's addictive.
unique.
and very
I don't know how
entertaining.
popular.
Now,
So yeah,
see,
I would say
Now,
he's
see,
young.
didn't play that one.
I'm even taking it a step further. The next hidden gem is for PS2 is sequel Trapped.
I never played
It's
it.
that same game, only a million times better
Okay, our
in
host gets
graphics. In graphics,
our host gets to
That's
name a
it.
second alternative. He knows since we named 2 or 3. So.
But
PlayStation 1, a game called One.
Whoa, my mind is blown. Man.
It's actually developed by Capcom, but it was only or published by Capcom, but that was only in Japan. When it was released in the States, someone else released it, so it doesn't have the Capcom name in the States, so I don't think it got the love that maybe it would have if Capcom's name was on there.
1 on the 1. I like it.
One on the PS1. ONE. One.
O.in.
Difficult game,
Very.
but it'll keep you coming back for more. Fun game. The graphics for the PS1, considering the PS1 graphics have not aged the best, because 3D polygons don't always age the best.
they
Especially with bad
don't.
texturing.
They do now,
but
yeah.
the game 1 has really good graphics for being on the PlayStation 1.
Plus, it has good gameplay.
I would say the graphics are comparable to Einhander, which
Pretty good graphics.
I don't know if I would say that's a hidden gem. It is
That's
Squaresoft.
pretty well known.
It's Squaresoft, and
Tobol's a hidden gem, though. Did you mention it?
well, I mean, Tobal. I don't know how much of a hidden gem that is because it did come with the Final Fantasy VII demo, so I
That's
think
why it's a
most
hit-
people knew about it.
No, most people knew about the Final Fantasy VII demo. They just did the Tobal disc.
Well, they knew about Tobal just because of the disc, but
Did they really play it?
I don't know. But see, that's the thing. Tobal wasn't a great game to me. I would say Tobal number 2 was a great
2
game.
was great.
But see, maybe number 1 was so slept on that people didn't really touch it, so they didn't bring the sequel out here in the States.
I was just about to
Tobal
say.
number 2 is out in Japan,
Yeah, I
and
was
it's
about
a
to
great
say.
game.
I never saw Tobal 2.
It's only out in Japan.
Oh.
So, but you know, we like we said earlier, we're excluding out other regions. So,
Right.
Tobal number 1, okay game. I mean, I know we played it. Tobal number 2 is a lot better.
The draw was the adventure mode at the time. So
It's a fighting game with an adventure mode. All right, so I think we could wrap this episode up. I mean, we got our favorite hidden gems out there, and I think people,
Got a little silly, too, Just had a little fun.
yeah, so yeah, let us know some of your hidden gems. We're always looking for new games to play and enjoy, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely gonna check out the South Park game when you.
Oh yeah, South Park.
Definitely want to check
South
out.
Great
Park,
game.
You'll love it.
I don't know how much of a hidden gem that is because it is South Park and
Right.
they're 20 seasons deep, and so
Hey,
South Park's well known.
Hey,
But
hey.
the game, considering all the other South Park games that were released, were very far
Oh,
from
God.
being good.
Chef's Love Shack.
The one where you run around throwing snowballs
Oh.
at turkeys, dude.
That was just called South Park, wasn't it?
yeah, it's just South Park on Nintendo 64.
Oh, that was like season 1 too.
You just run around throwing snowballs at turkeys. I never understood what to do besides
That.
pelt turkeys with snowballs.
big fun.
But yeah, so considering it was the first South Park game, maybe it was slept on for that because maybe people are like, oh, all the others are bad. But if you have not played Stick of Truth, play it. Great game.
I agree.
Every game that we've mentioned on here, just about every game we've mentioned on here is worth playing. You should check them out for real.
Yep.
Give them a chance. If you haven't given them a chance, try it now. You might be surprised.
Yep. So that's all she wrote then. I'm ICC.
I am known as Egg.
Kratos.
Peace.